I am bringing you, probably has to be one of my favorite books I have ever read, and I know that that's saying something, that you read one book and it has to be the favorite one, but this one truly is. And I'm just going to say quickly, I'm not giving away any spoilers for this book at all because I got an advance ARC copy of it. It is going to be officially released June 24th, and I know from the author she would like me not to give any spoilers before the book is released, so I'm just going to give you a synopsis and just talk about the book and how I loved it so much. So let's get into In the End by Demitria Lunetta. Let me just say, this book is amazing. It is heart-pounding, scary. It really makes you think. And I was using my brain and trying to figure out stuff more than any book I've ever read. And you fall in love with so many characters. So let's go get into the synopsis of In the End. So you know, in the after, the Guardians and Kay helped Amy escape from New Hope, from the ward. And if you don't know what the ward is, it's where the crazy people who New Hope thinks are crazy, and they put them in there so they won't say anything about what's really going on in New Hope. So the book In the After leaves off with the Guardians leaving Amy to her own devices out into the real world. And she's strong, she knows how to survive, because in the first book in the beginning, she lived by herself for years. And she said, she just thinks towards the beginning of the book, she thinks, I really need to go do what I came out here for. There's a certain person that she's trying to find to help somebody back in New Hope. So she leaves her treehouse where she's been staying for the past couple months, where she's been safe, and she goes to try and find Fort Black. Now, Fort Black is where a certain person is that can help her with a certain problem that is happening back at New Hope. And she's a bit scared to go to Fort Black because she doesn't know what it is. She's heard stories that everybody there is not necessarily nice, and she ends up going. And we find out that Fort Black is not really a compound. It's not a facility like New Hope. It is none other than a prison. Fort Black is a high security old prison. Now, when I was reading this book, I was brought back to The Walking Dead when everybody there stayed in this prison. The only problem with this one is there are still bad, very bad, violent convicts that are living in Fort Black. And they have put it into sections where they have the convicts, the people who can't really do anything, and can't really help society, and she realizes that this is not the best place for me to be, because she wears what's called a stealth suit, which is all black, and it's supposed to protect her from bullets, knives, and the fluorides, the aliens. And she gets there to Fort Black, and she meets Jax. Now, Jax has to be one of my favorite characters in the book besides Amy. He is doctor's assistant to Fort Black, and they say, we have to take you to the doctor, we have to get you vaccinated to see if you are carrying any diseases and if you are affected by the fluorides. Now, she doesn't want to do any of this. She doesn't want to be injected with anything, because remember, she spent a few long, terrorizing, agonizing months in the ward with Dr. Reynolds, and she doesn't want to be injected with anything. And she says, I'm going to leave. I was coming here to look for somebody, but you are not injecting me. I am not going to subject myself to any more torture. Now, Jax tells her that it's for her own protection and for her own good if she gets injected. She goes along with it, and Jax brings her into the prison, into Fort Black. And she learns right away that this is not a nice place. This is not New Hope. The prisoners there really want to hurt her. And what I loved about this book is that all women that go into Fort Black have to be claimed. The girls have to wear the guy's name tattooed on their wrist who they're claimed by. Now, Jax tells everybody, all the violent men in the prison, Amy is mine. You can't touch her, can't talk to her, she's mine, she belongs to me. And I thought it was an interesting twist to say that she was claimed by him, even though she just met him. And it goes more towards the middle of the book, and she says, I can't stay in the cell anymore, I don't want to be babysat by you, Jax. I need to go find the person I came here to look for. And you realize in the book that she needs to find Ken. Ken is Kay's sister. Kay is the member of the Guardians back in New Hope to help. Ken can help her with a problem that's happening back there with somebody. Now, when I was thinking whenever she saw Ken in Fort Black, I was thinking, is she really seeing him? Or is her craziness from back in the Word coming back? Because I wasn't sure if he was even alive, if she was just imagining him, if he was a ghost, or whatever. But she does find him, and he does help her with the problem. And you meet a bunch of other people, like Tank. Tank is a guard at Fort Black. He's a very, very bad guy, very built, muscular guy, and he's a psychopath. He has done very, very bad things, especially to women in Fort Black. And we find out, and you meet the warden. The warden is not, you think he's a very nice guy. He acts all sweet and, nice to Amy in the beginning, and you find out that he has alternative motives for the people of Fort Black. And she realizes this is not a place that I need to be and I want to be. I want to get Ken out of here, go back to New Hope so he can help with the problem. And it finds out that getting out of Fort Black is a lot harder than it seems. It's not easy because Tank is after her and Jax doesn't want her to go. Jax is there to protect her. He wants her to stay in the cell and not leave because she will be attacked. Not everybody knows that she's claimed by Jax. Now, Doc does something very, very bad that just draws a panic in this book, and this whole couple chapters I was holding my breath. I was literally holding my breath thinking, I know he was a psychopath. I know he was crazy, and he does something and he releases, let's just say aliens find their way into the prison and all hell breaks loose. Basically all hell breaks loose. We find out some truth of what Tank has done to somebody's family member in Fort Black, and it's just crazy. This book is just absolutely insane with action, heart-pounding action. There's a little bit of a romance happening between two people. There's a lot of loss in this book. Don't fall in love with any characters too much because people die left and right in this book, and I was crying some scenes. There was one scene that a lady sacrifices herself for somebody that she loves, and I was crying because I really liked that character. And they get out of Fort Black. They leave Fort Black, and Amy has to leave somebody that my heart was wrenching when she had to leave this person there. And she goes back to New Hope, and she has to find Baby. Now, through this whole book, we didn't really hear much of Baby towards the end of the book. She goes to find her, and she's not the same child that she knew from before. She's basically brainwashed, and they have to get her out, and we find out huge shockers, and somebody is back in New Hope is responsible for this whole alien invasion. It is one person, and was not who I suspected at all. I suspected two other people, but the person who was responsible for releasing and making these injections for these aliens did not expect it. And we find out there's an injection, an antidote to turn people who have turned into fluorides back to humans, and there's a lot of medical talk in this book too, so you really have to pay attention. It is just amazing. I love the ending. When the book finished, I finished it not yesterday, the day before, at 3 o'clock in the morning, because I read 5 chapters back to back. I couldn't put it down. I tweeted Demitria Lunetta. I said, please let there be a third book. I have so many questions. It can't leave off like this. She said it's the last one, which I'm bummed about, but you know, 2 books. This book is just amazing. I hope that was a good synopsis. I can't give anything away. And I just had to read you my favorite line in this whole, there's a bunch of lines, but this one line just gave me chills when I read it. I read it like 5 times because I just loved it. My mother may have given him the weapon, but Dr. Reynolds is the one who pulled the trigger. See? It just gives me chills. Demitria Lunetta's writing is just absolutely amazing. And the parts where the fluorides are trying to attack them in New Hope, it just freaked me out. I was so scared. And as I said, this one and any after are not bedtime stories. So I wouldn't read this at night like I did, is because you will think they're aliens in your apartment and blah, blah, blah. So this book is absolutely amazing. You need to pick it up June 24th, and I will be buying a hardcover of this one to match my In the End hardcover. And Demitria Lunetta, your writing is amazing. These 2 books, especially this one, is my favorite book of 2014. I loved it. And it's a book you can read over and over again, and you can still figure out sections that you miss, and it will still surprise you. So I'll definitely be reading these again in the future. And thank you, Harper Teen and Demitria Lunetta, for sending me this art copy. I loved it. And yeah, don't let the aliens bite you, and I'll see you later. Bye.